Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel where we have great conversations and restore healthy mindsets. So, in today's video, this lady shares a horrible dating story. Let's take a look.
This is a really crazy dating story time, and I need to know if I made a mistake. I bought a vanity last December and I needed someone to build it, so I went on this website and I saw that this guy had a lot of reviews, and so I hired him to come over and build my vanity. So this guy shows up and he's like tall, dark, and handsome, literally looks like a model. So he's building this vanity in my living room and we were just talking, and he tells me that he's a model at this very prestigious, I'm not going to name which modeling agency, but he just like builds things on the side. So we just talk for 2.5 hours as he's building everything, and then he leaves. Then I noticed the next day that the drawer isn't really like closing, so I message him and he's like, oh, it's okay, I will come over tonight, no worries. So he comes back and we are talking and we realize we have a lot in common. Then he sends me a text and he's like, let me know if you have any more problems with the vanity and like happy holidays or something. And I said, oh, thank you, happy holidays. And then he starts asking me like, what are you doing for the holidays? And we just go into like this really long text convo. So when I ask him what he's doing for Christmas, he tells me that he's going to Asia with a guy. So he won't be spending Christmas with his family, but it's just like a guy friend that's really rich. And as we were talking about holiday plans, he was like, by the way, I am fully hitting on you. Like, I am attracted to you. And I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, you are attractive as well. How old are you? Then we find out that we're basically the same age. So we're texting back and forth for like a week and a half, and he gets to Asia and he goes, oh wow, it's so romantic here. Like, my friend and I are definitely gonna. So he was referring to him and the rich guy friend that had invited him there. I stopped responding, and 2 days later he sends me a text and he apologizes and he goes, hey, that was totally a joke and I'm so sorry, but that was pretty aggressive and I shouldn't have said that. So was I right for ghosting him, or did I just have like PTSD being like all men are liars? So please let me know in the comments. I don't like ghosting guys. I rarely ever do it, so I still feel bad till this day.
Girl, that guy is a red billboard. You did not do anything wrong. In that situation, would do the same thing, so don't feel bad. The joke is on him. Don't feel bad, please. You dodged the bullet. But anyways, this brought me to TikTok, where women were sharing some of their insane dating stories. Let me not waste your time, so let's go straight into the videos and I'll be back to share my thoughts.
So I met a man in 2020. He was a good man. I love that man. He was totally my type, everything that I was looking for in a partner. So when we met, things were going good. And I'd say we got to about the third date before he ghosted me for like a whole week. He then hits me up and he's like, hey, I am so sorry. I've had a lot going on. I really want you to come over to my house. I want to make this up to you. I want to go out. Just come over. So, of course I go, because this is the man of my dreams, and I know he's not just going to do me wrong. Life is busy, of course. So I get to his home. This man's entire face is wrapped up. I'm talking about like from here to here. There's tape all around. I'm like, what happened to you? He's like, oh, I had surgery on my sinuses. And, he's like, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, okay, then why the hell you call me over? So anyways, I'm like, okay, like, do you need me to do anything? He's like, well, I need you to open the door. My friend is here. His friend comes in. Mind you, y'all, there's nothing wrong with the friend. He's like really nice, really respectful. Like, he was over there checking on him because he had just had surgery. We're all three there, chitter-chattering very awkwardly because his friend's like, I don't know this girl. And I'm like, I don't know him. But anyways, he's like, hey, Stace, would you mind going in the kitchen and fixing us some burgers? And let me tell you something. Who don't cook his meat? I was like, burgers. And on top of that, I'm in all white. I ain't come over here to do no damn cooking. So I'm like, no, I can't cook no burger. He was like, well, do you mind boiling me an egg? At this point, I'm like, okay, let me boil this egg so I can go. So I'm like, okay, I'll boil you an egg. So I get on Google and see how long to boil a damn egg for. So I go in the kitchen. This is the most complicated damn stove I've ever operated in my life. And I'm like, I'm having a little trouble. So his friend comes in there and helps me turn on the stove. All while he's sitting over here wrapped up looking at me like. So the eggs have boiled and I give him the eggs. And his friend was like, oh, I'm getting ready to go. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to go with you, homeboy. And he's like, Stacey, would you mind staying? I'm like, okay, because again, I'm not trying to show out in front of this man company. his friend leaves, he's like, what type of woman don't know how to cook a burger? You've embarrassed me. I was like, hey, homeboy, I didn't know I was coming over here to cook a meal because I could have ordered something. Like, I'm real good at ordering. He was like, I am extremely embarrassed. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little intense. I'm about to go. I'm like, I'm leaving. I don't have time for this. I'm gone. And at this point, he stands up and he's like, no, I demand you to stay. I can tell you never dated an alpha male. You don't know how to treat an alpha male. I was like, all right, okay, cool, bye. I'll own it. Y'all, this man's face is bleeding profusely. There is like blood just running down his face, on his shirt. And I'm like, I'm like, hey, he's like, shut up. I'm like, all right, you gonna campaign for the Lord to come get you? Who am I to deny you the election? So at this point, he faints and he falls back into like a little chair. Like, I think he was being dramatic, but whatever. So he falls back and I'm like, I'm not going to touch him because, again, I'm in white. And this was a beautiful white dress. And I'm not about to mess up no white dress for somebody who disrespected me. In high intensity situations, I find myself like I have a delay reaction to everything. So I'm just standing there waiting for him to come to. When this dude comes to, he was like, would you mind running to Chipotle for me? I'm starving. I was like, okay, I'll go to Chipotle for you. He gives me his debit card and I go to my car and I'm like, you know what? I was disrespected. So I put the debit card on top of his mailbox. I backed out of the driveway. I left and I was back over there 2 weeks later. Yep, sure in the hell was. Found out he was polygamous, but that's how that story ends.
I know some of you girlies have great relationships from Hinge. This is not one of those stories. A couple months ago, I went on a date with this guy in New York. I believe I'm just telling this story, but we met on Hinge, so you already know how it's gonna go. He asked me if I want to go to a hookah lounge. I say no because I don't smoke hookah. It gives me headaches, makes me feel nauseous, so I say no. He says, okay, like meet me at the Ritz at 8 p.m. for drinks. Fine, great, let's do it. Let him know it's a 10-minute Uber ride. He's like, oh, that's nice. Like, it's right across the street from me, so I'm just gonna walk. Like, okay, red flag number one, that's already so annoying. Like, why would you pick a place that's right across the street from you and then make me come to you? Like, what are you... I show up to the day and I look nice, as always, and this guy's wearing skinny jeans and a jersey style hoodie. Red flag number two. Listen, like, just put in, like, a little bit, like, why are you wearing that? We get to talking, and he's asking me about my goals, and I'm talking about, like, my aspirations for my career. This man has the audacity to say, and who's gonna pay for that? Me. And when I say that, he says the most sexist, misogynistic thing, basically saying, no, you have it all wrong. What you need to do, you're pretty enough, you just need to date a rich man. And that's it. Like, that's what you need to be doing. You're so confused with all these aspirations and career goals that you have. You need to sit down, be quiet, and marry a rich man. Him, of course, he's insinuating. So he's telling me that I need to just marry a rich man and forget all of the career goals I have for myself. And then he proceeds to tell me that for every $250,000 a man makes, he deserves 8 cheating allegations. You can't make this up, bro. You can't make it up. He's telling me to marry a rich man and let him cheat on me because he makes enough money. Are you crazy? You must be crazy. I'm ordering another drink because at this point I just need to drink through this conversation. And he leans over and kisses me. We're literally sitting at the bar and shoves his tongue down my throat. There's tons of people everywhere. I also just met you. I don't remember this guy's name and you have your tongue down my throat right now in front of a bunch of people. Also, like, this is very weird. I was honestly just taken aback. Like, I don't even know. I didn't even know. I was shocked. I was so thrown off. I definitely should have left at this point. He decides that he's done drinking. He's like, let's go across the street. We go across the street to where? A freaking hookah lounge. After I already told you I don't want to go to the hookah lounge, then proceeds to sit on the inside, you know, like the 2-seater tables and one's kind of like at the booth. He proceeds to sit on the inside, order a thing of hookah, and I'm sitting on the outside chair, singing this freaking how slow are you? Look, he's a regular here. Everyone freaking knows him. He starts smoking the hookah and blowing it in my face. Mind you, it's only been a few minutes that we've been here, and at this point I'm like, okay, I'm absolutely out of here. Ta-ta, guy. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna head out. And you know what he says? Oh, you don't want to stay? You want to stay here with me? You want to hang out with me? You want to come sit next to me at the booth? You want to stay? You don't want to stay? No, bro. I don't want to. I don't want to stay. I don't want to stay. I never wanted to be here to begin with. I don't want to stay. I was like, you know what? You can walk me out if you want. And his response is, why would I do that? Why would I do that? So I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm gonna go. I don't need you to walk me out. I was just, you know what? Just good night. Good night. Sayonara. So when I get back to my place, I just shoot him a text, a polite text. Don't even know why. I should have just blocked him. I don't know. But I sent him this text saying like, hey, nice meeting you, but I don't think it's gonna work out. And this is the text he sends back to me. I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand what happens between the two ears of a man.
So Hinge has been pretty successful for me lately, so let's get ready for a date while we talk about a bad date. You really have to take online dating with a grain of salt. If there's one thing I learned about dating online is that you have to meet these people in person. You can't go off of what they're saying over text message or how they act over text message and think that that's how they are in person. So I matched with this guy on Bumble, started messaging him, we texted for about a week, and he like never asked me out on a date. So as like a joke, I said, oh, like, am I ever gonna meet you? And he was like, yeah, let's plan a date. So he decides to drive over to my side of town. Mind you, we've been texting for 2 weeks straight, like every single day. Really good texter, really good communicator, pretty funny over text, and I thought like we were gonna get along really well. So I show up to this date, he's not there. Our date was at 7 o'clock. It's like 7:05, nothing, haven't heard from him. I'm just sitting there. The waiter comes out, he's like looking confused, and I told him, I'm like, I'm waiting on this guy I've never met. So my waiter's invested. So this guy comes out, it's clearly him, and he just like kind of looks at me and then sits down and doesn't apologize for being late. And I'm like, hey, how are you? So then he's sitting there, it's like super awkward. I'm like trying to ask all these questions. And one tip that I learned from a coworker is if the date's going wrong, just pretend like you're working and just ask about them. I'm in sales, so it's like very easy for me to talk to people. So I'm asking him all these questions and somehow got on the topic of like, oh, are you a picky eater? He then goes on for about 15 minutes about how much he hates seafood. And it's not like he just said, oh, I don't like seafood. He was going into great detail as to why he doesn't like seafood, all the seafood that he's tried, and he's like, none of it works for me. I hate it. I'm actually a pretty picky eater. The waiter finally comes over to get our order, and I order my meal, and he's like, all right, what can I get for you? He looks at my waiter dead ass and goes, I'll have the fish tacos. So the waiter walks away and I start like laughing, and he's like, why are you laughing? And I was like, I'm so confused right now. So like, do you like fish? And he was like, no. The waiter came back, brought us our food. He ate the fish tacos, no problem. I never spoke to him ever again.
I went on a date and my date came in with his girlfriend. Story time. This is a true life story. I'm going to attach text messages so you can see. So I met this guy on Instagram. We've been talking for some time, and then he's based in the US, I think so. Then he was in London and he was like, oh, let's hang out, let's get to know each other. So it's supposed to be like a proper date, but it was Friday and he was like, do you want to go to the club? I said, okay, that's fine. I've not really gone to the club in like few months now. Okay, let's meet in the club. For me, I don't like going to the club on my first date because we will not be able to talk. But I was like, okay, let's meet at the club. So he said I should send my address. He ordered Uber for me. We got there at the same time. When I got there, I saw him coming in with 2 girls and 2 guys, which he never said before because he was like, it was the both of us that we were just going on a date. So we went in. We were there. He was ordering drink. He was doing what's it called, Odogu doings. That's not my business. I just came here to have fun. Anyways, Sha, the next thing I saw him kissing this girl. You know the way girlfriend used to act now. Like, oh, it's my boyfriend. And she was giving me this side eye. Like, what are you doing with my man? Oh, your man invited me. I never knew he had a girlfriend. Because he said he's coming to, what's it called, London. And he wants to see me. So Sha, I just had my phone, so I felt a bit down because she was with her friend and they were giving me this side eye, like, what are you doing here? And they were kissing, he was pouring the girl drinks, he was just asking me, are you okay? In my mind, but I didn't want to get mad because one, he has never asked me out. He was just getting to know me. So let me believe that, okay, there are some times in my head, okay, not everybody you must date. Let me believe that this is just like, what's it called? He's going to be a friend. And like, I just wanted to go home. So I finished, I booked my ride, I went back home. I was okay, I wasn't pissed. I just told my friend, like, this is what happened, this is what happened. Now tell me why the next day I will attach the text message this guy sent to me. He sent me his hotel, that I should come and meet him in the hotel. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Oh, where? So I was like, I don't understand, what's this? He was like, oh, let's keep it 100. I was like, are you okay? So first of all, I wasn't rude. I was like, you invited me out on a date for the first time. You came in with your girlfriend and you're telling me to come meet you the next day. Is everything okay at home? And I was like, no, that's not his girlfriend. No, that girl has a boyfriend. He just said one rubbish. But in my mind, you have audacity. I am the person that used to say that there's people you should not be rude to. But I was rude. Like, I'll just attach few texts so you guys can see. This guy literally told me that, oh, the girl was with, obviously it's his girlfriend, but the guy has a boyfriend. Let's see, say would apologize. I don't understand. You invited Moa to a date and you came with a girl. I did not say anything. I went home, I did not say anything to you. I told him to come back. I will do a part 2. Let me cut this video right now.
Story time on the worst day ever. I deleted my Hinge account after this. I highly don't recommend. So I met this guy on Hinge, and at first he was pretty cool. We messaged for a few days. And so finally he was like, you know, let's go on a date. Let's go bowling. So I was like, okay, cool. We can go bowling. I'll just meet you there. So he was like, all right. This is when shit turned left extremely quick, and I should have known this was a red flag. This man literally went on my Instagram from like years ago and took an old picture of me in some dang on heels and a hat and was like, hey, can you wear this to the bowling alley? So he's like, you know, I think this picture is fly. You know, you got on heels, you got on the hat, and I want you to be fly. Like, I think you should wear that. And I'm like, I don't even know where this outfit is. This is years ago. I haven't worn this outfit in forever, and we're going bowling. I want to be chill. I want to wear some sneakers and some jeans or something. Steadily pressing me about this outfit. We going back and forth, and I'm just like, boy, I'm wearing what I want. So anyways, you know, I end up meeting him at the bowling alley, and I see him. I walk up to him, I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, how are you? I'm Ariel. And the first thing he does is he says, you're really short. Straight like that, he looked me up and down. No, hey, no, how you doing? Nice to meet you. He said, you're really short. And then he walked away and he was like, I'm gonna go get some shoes. Instantly, I'm turned off because I have never in my life had a man tell me that I was short and complain about it. Usually men like it, but instantly I'm like, oh, I'm so turned off. And I know how this is gonna be. So we go get the shoes and we find our lane, and dude has an attitude off jump. He's like, you could have came in here looking fly. Like, I like my girls to look fly, and that's not fly what you got on. So I'm just looking at the dude. I'm not saying nothing. The dude from New York, so he was already pretty, like, aggressive. And so he, like, asking me questions like, where you from? Where you grew up at? Real aggressive. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with this man? Like, kind of acting crazy. And so then he goes on back on a tangent about how short I am. He's like, you real short. Like, you just real short. So finally, I'm like, okay, so what? Like, men love that I'm short. And he's like, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, actually. And like, I'm throwing the ball or whatever. And he's like, you're not really good at this. Like, you suck. You're not good at bowling at all. And he like snatches the ball from me. So at this point, I'm like low-key scared. So I end the day early. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to go home. Like, I got a long day tomorrow. I got to get up because it was in the middle of the week. And so I get home, and before I get a chance to block him, because that was my intentions, he calls me. And he's like blowing up my phone and he's asking me to come over. And I'm like, oh yeah, this dude is mentally insane. I blocked him and I deleted my Hinge, and I never got back on Hinge after that. It scarred me for life. But also, I was like nervous to go on dates because I was thinking that men was gonna think I was too short. So I didn't go on dates for months after that. Now I'm in a happy relationship, so it doesn't even matter anymore. So yeah, just be careful on Hinge.
You see that video one is the most chaotic story. I love how she actually added humor. Who am I to deny you the election? Made me stop breathing. Alpha made it even care about his life. Like, ha. For the second video, you are advising her to marry a rich man. But when she does, you guys come up with she's a gold digger. She married him because of money. Men really do not know what they want. The third one, why did he have to talk so much about seafood and then still went straight up to order fish tacos? That's so crazy. That last video, guy, we wouldn't even have made it to the date. The moment he was trying to argue with me about my outfits, there's no way we'll get to the date. No way. I'm canceling. I'm canceling. The red flags are always there. Somehow we just find a way to ignore. Okay, guys, do you have any crazy dating story? Share them in the comment section, and please, if you have to air your opinion on what somebody has commented, remember how we do it here. We do it respectfully. You do not have to disrespect anybody to air your opinion, right? If you know anyone that would like to be part of this conversation, feel free to share this post with them. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button and then give this video a thumbs up because it helps my videos to get to more people, and you never can tell whose life you're going to save. So let's keep the conversations going. I'll see you on in my next video.